Yo, what's up? How's it going, everybody? AKFPV here, Anthony Knight, and I am excited to talk to you guys a little bit about the all-new HDZero DiviMath Halo ESC. It's finally here, it's out now, it's ready for you guys to go purchase, and I wanted to give you some insights on some key features that I found really interesting about this specific ESC. I want to show you guys the ESC as well so you can see it in video. I'll get it nice and close to that camera so you can really get a good look at it and really just give a little bit of feedback about this ESC overall. So I'm going to show you guys right now, jump right into it as far as actually seeing the ESC. It is a 4-in-1 ESC, again known as the Halo ESC. And right here what I have is the entire package in the event you purchase the stack together. So I do have both the Halo ESC and the Halo flight controller in this packaging to show you guys. So right when you open it up, you'll have your little HDZero pamphlet. This has your wiring diagram for different applications, whether that be wiring up a race V3 VTX or perhaps the freestyle VTX. You have your little pinout diagram there, so you don't need to go searching through the internet. And in your package right here, again, this is the combo pack where you get the whole stack. But the Halo flight controller, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this. I've already done a review. If you haven't watched that, definitely go check that out. But the Halo flight controller, one thing to note that's very crucial and important in my opinion is the fact that you do have the HDZero Race V3 VTX plug right here. So for racing pilots, you do not need to solder that VTX to your flight controller. You can just plug it in. That's a really neat feature. But again, we did cover that in our last video. Let's jump into the main point of this video. This here is the HDZero Halo ESC. So as you can tell, it's 4-in-1 ESC. One thing that's really cool is it utilizes like a split board design with a dedicated MCU driver board and a high voltage power board. So it's integrating, has 24 MOSFETs here. It's 8-layer PCB with 3 ounces of copper thickness per layer. That's just going to really optimize the current flow, the thermal efficiency, and what's nice too with this ESC in specific is each motor, based on the testing that HDZero team did, each motor can sustain outputs over 70 amps for 30 seconds straight. And it can peak at 100 amps for 3 seconds, which is really impressive. The nice thing too is it has a really clean power to the MCU, so that just safeguards from like voltage spikes or sudden motor acceleration or deacceleration, right? So in turn, that's going to be your common culprits for burn motors or failed MOSFETs on ESCs and essentially any just like critical flight failures, right? So nice thing too about this ESC is you do have a couple different versions that you can pick from. There is 2 versions. You have a BL Heli 32 version, and there's also an AM 32 version. So really your choice. And of course, your standard, there's D-Shot, 150, 300, 600, 1200. You have multi-shot. You also have 1-shot all built into here. It does come in, this is a 20x20 mounting stack, which is a common option by most pilots in the racing world, and it weighs just 13.4 grams. As far as pricing goes, the actual ESC itself, again being 2 versions, you have the BL Heli 32 version. That's going to come in at $75, which is honestly amazing. HDZero continues to produce top quality products, and not only do we know and trust and love all the products they produce, but at the same time that is a very aggressive price point against the current market of these bigger ESCs that we trust. And the AM32 version is actually cheaper than that, coming in at just $70 USD. So very impressive nonetheless. If you did get the combo pack, so like the Halo flight controller and the ESC that's on AM32, that's going to be $145, and that's the MPU 6000 version of the flight controller. And then if you do the MPU 6000 flight controller, Halo flight controller, with this on BL Heli, it's $150. So it's still just that $5 difference. And then if you are a little bit more in a budget, the nice thing too, that ICM gyro flies really well If you haven't seen Heads Up, Evan Turner's video of comparing the ICM gyro versus the MPU gyro on this actual Halo flight controller, I definitely suggest going to check it out, because if you do get this ESC on AM32 with the ICM Halo flight controller, it's only $125 for a stack. It's been a while since we've paid that little for a stack in this hobby, and not only is it a very great competitive price, but it's produced by some of the best in the game. So well done to Carl and his team. You guys have really crushed it. I do want to show you guys a little bit of a clip here of some testing data that HDZero has provided, and just cycle through some of these various materials that are going to be really helpful for you guys. But nonetheless, if you haven't got it, they're out now. They're ready to purchase right this minute. Go to hd-zero.com for everywhere besides the United States. If you are in the United States watching this, you're going to want to go to hdzero.us, and you can purchase yours now, get them shipped to you, and start building your next quad with this amazing stack. So really excited about this ESC. They did a really good job on it, and it just feels so solid. But just to quickly, I also want to go through the rest of the contents that you're going to get in your package, because everyone's always curious about that. Again, keep in mind this is the entire package, so you're getting the full stack here and what I am looking at. So you do get your various mounting gummies there, as well as your harness, ESC to flight controller harness. Looks like you get some stack screws as well. Nice little added touch. Not always needed. A lot of frames, or sometimes frames, come with them, but it is awesome to see some stack screws. They do have their a capacitor in here as well. Not one that I've personally used before, so I don't really know a whole lot on this specific capacitor, but I'm sure it's in there for a reason, and I trust everything Carl and his team always do and produce, so I'm sure it'll be great. Of course, as always, you got your LiPo leads, and then you do have your two antennas for your built-in ELRS on that Halo flight controller, which one is longer than the other, of course. I'm not sure the exact dimensions or lengths on these. Maybe this is, I don't know, maybe 100 millimeters or 80 millimeters or so. Maybe this is 25, 40 in that range. I'm not really sure, but definitely get everything you need, and it makes for a really good build. Also, one thing I wanted to show you guys as well, which I absolutely love. If you didn't notice or haven't watched any of the review videos on the actual Halo flight controller, if you notice, everything is pretty much on top of the flight controller as far as any pieces to the FC that are sticking out, right? So i.e. like your USB plug or your different pin connectors here for ESC and your HDZero Race V3 VTXs. But when you look at the bottom side of this flight controller, look at that, right? You only really have your two little UFL connectors right here. So what I'm getting at is just, it's very low profile on one side, extremely low profile, right? So that just means that it's very simple. Like, just looking at this at a glance, I'd probably run at least a single little gummy between these, but even sandwiching these together this low, there's nothing touching. Again, not necessarily the route I would take, but just showing you an example of how low profile it really can be. I mean, we're not talking a whole lot of real estate there when you're sandwiching these together. Again, I'd probably put a little bit of some type of gummy between, but probably the thin ones, the little O-ring looking ones there, just to get a little bit more separation. But nonetheless, I mean, with that and then your VTX on top, or however you like to mount it, I mean, you're really not looking at a whole lot of space taken up. So bravo and well done to the HDZero team for that really low profile style building. They really take everything into account when they're designing their products, and really see which direction the industry is heading, and where pilots are finding different ways to be more competitive, become faster. And one of those ways is, of course, weight, right? Power to weight ratios are everything. So if we're there with the power, we have fast quads on 6S flying high KV, and so really one of the big things we can look at is weight, and weight savings are going to come down to multiple different ways. And being able to have that nice, thin, low profile stack just means you can run shorter standoffs on the actual quad itself. Shorter standoffs, of course, in turn just means everything's going to be lighter, right? You're taking away from the overall mass of the quad. So bravo to HDZero, super well done. I don't have any flight footage of this, unfortunately, myself, only because of where I live here in Arizona. It is so hot out here. Our quads do not like us flying in these types of temperatures. So unfortunately, I haven't got around to flying it yet, but Woodstopia is coming up next month. That'll be probably the next time I do get to fly, and I will definitely be flying this at Woodstopia in one of my open class rigs to see how well it performs and just shred it. So really excited about this. Again, thank you to Carl, to Ryan, everyone involved in the HDZero team for continuously innovating, taking that feedback, seeing what the industry trends are, and adhering towards those needs and wants, because that's truly how you guys remain on top. You've proven that time and time and time again. And I'm just not surprised by any means necessary, but I'm excited. So if you don't have this stack, go get one yourself right now. Go do it. You won't regret it. With that, thank you guys for tuning in. For those of you that watched the video, I do really appreciate it. Hopefully this has been informative. Hopefully it's given you a little bit more insight, and hopefully it's a product you're going to want to rock.